Frank Ocean is one of the most iconic artists of our generation, and one of the main factors behind this is his incredible production. Before we do anything else, let's listen to Lens.
My girl made him wait till the hours of the night.
As you can hear, Lens is based around some gentle chords played on an electric piano. I started our beat by laying down something similar. Note that I left plenty of spaces in between the chords. That's going to be important for the next instrument. On the song, the electric piano sounds quite dry, so I just added some reverb, compression, delay, and EQ. For the next element, I took inspiration from biking.
Life goes a cycle, what comes around goes around.
The intro section includes this washed out piano. To achieve a similar sound, I added a compressor and reverb to this contact piano. This is the basis of our track, however there are so many extra little details in Frank's production. For example, on Lens you can hear these short string sections come in. To add one to our beat, I used Arcade by Output. This one comes from one of the sampler kits. I just clicked strings and up came a huge variety of sounds. I love using Arcade to keep my workflow fast because I don't have to leave the door to find a new sound. It also locks the key and tempo in so you can easily change things around and see what sounds best. I used Arcade again for the next element. I wanted to add some ambient percussion in the background, so I used two sampler kits and blended them together to make this perc loop. Arcade has so much customization, so you can tweak things exactly how you want them. For the percussion, I went into the tweak settings and changed the playback speed to half. As well as using the sampler kits for ear candy, Arcade has a bunch of instruments in there too. Frank uses a bunch of synths in his music. On Lens, he switches from a Rhodes to a synth pad, so I added a switch up section on our beat, changing the chords and using this Arcade instrument. If you want to check out Arcade, hit the link in the description. You get a free month trial and 50% off your first paid month. Underneath that, I layered a thicker pad. Finally, I added two extra percussion layers. Next, let's see what we can learn from Frank Ocean's drums. I actually started with the kick. If we listen to Nikes, you can hear something different about it. It has a delay on it, which gives a really interesting bounce. To replicate something similar, I added the built-in delay and modulated it so it has a high-pass filter on it. I then layered another kick on top of that. After that is a snare with some spring reverb. This really adds to the ambient vibe. Second to last, we have a light hi-hat, which I took inspiration from Nights. And finally, we have a synth bass. Now, we couldn't make a video about Frank Ocean without taking a look at his guitar-based tracks. One of my favorites is Slide On Me from Endless. It has a nice clean sound, so I processed it with a preamp, compressor, guitar amp, EQ, and reverb. This sounds great on its own, but I wanted to add another layer underneath, inspired by a track from Blonde, Ivy.
I thought that I was dreaming when you said you loved me.
There are these strummed power chords being played underneath the main guitar. Adding this to our beat gave it so much depth. I lowered the volume quite a lot and added some processing similar to the main guitar. Finally, I added these top line notes in a higher octave, giving even more contrast. I processed this with an organ preset and the guitar amp plugin. Frank has used organs on tracks like Solo. We're going to add more melodic elements later on, but for now I wanted to start on the drums. I started with the hi-hats, taking inspiration from Endless's Rushes 2. First is the main hat with a shaper box on it. After that, I added 3 more hi-hat layers. Some of them have pitch shifting delays, some of them play fast rolls, and altogether they sound like this. Next is a simple snare. To match the frantic hats, the kick is also very busy. Using low velocity notes massively helps to achieve this sound. For the final element of the drums, the bass, I went back to Slide On Me for some inspiration. The song has this gliding synth bass that fits so well, something like this. Finally, I wanted to add a small switch up inspired by Pink and White. The piano in the song is soft and bouncy, especially towards the end of the progression where you can hear one chord repeating over and over. I replicated something similar in our beat.